As a result of the almost never-ending wars between the Nephites and Lamanites that lasted off and on for 1,000 years, we find that in Alma chapter 49, Captain Moroni put his army to the task of building numerous fortresses and forts of security, as well as defensive walls around every city and town and all the land round about against repeated Lamanite attacks. These walled fortresses were impenetrable and frightened the Lamanites by restricting entry into the city except to their easily defendable entrances. Because as we find in Alma 49:18, the Lamanites could not get into their forts of security by any other means, save by the entrance, which was so restrictive and easily defended that, as Alma said, the Nephites could kill any who attempted to come into their place of security by the entrance. In fact, in one city, once in the entrance, one had to climb another 100 yards to reach the actual entrance into the city above, allowing the Nephites to stand on top of either side of the entrance walls and cast down stones and arrows at the Lamanites. As Alma put it, the Nephites were prepared to destroy all by casting over stones and arrows at them. Thus Moroni had prepared so well that the Lamanites could not get into their forts of security by any other way, save by the entrance, an entrance almost impossible to breach. Indeed, as Alma wrote, Captain Moroni had altered the management of affairs among the Nephites, and the Lamanites were disappointed as they could not come upon the Nephites in their strongholds. Thus, thanks to Captain Moroni, the Nephites were prepared to destroy all that attempted to climb up to enter the fort in any other location. It was the uniqueness of the well-guarded entrances and the fact that it was the only way into their cities and fortresses that stymied and frightened the Lamanites. The captains of the Lamanites brought up their armies before the place of entrance and began to contend with the Nephites to get into their place of security. But behold, they were driven back and slain with an immense slaughter, and more than 1,000 of the Lamanites were killed. But not a single Nephite was lost. Thus the entrance to the fortresses must have been both unique and easily defended, so that the Lamanites could not gain entry up to the large city above on the man-made plateau. This well-guarded entrance to the fortress provided such outstanding defensive position where the defenders could attack from above without exposing themselves to the attackers approaching below. This is not only a remarkable achievement, but one that should suggest the method of building these defenses by Moroni and his men must have been unusual and remarkably effective. Now, in all the land, where are the fortresses with these unique entrances? One is located high up in the northern mountains of Peru, a fortress called Kulak, which has several unique properties to its unusual construction, such as steep and difficult approaches, and 60-foot-high defensive walls, restricted, easily guarded entrances. This fortress was occupied by a warrior people named the Chachapoya, or warriors of the clouds, but called the Cloud People by those who came after them, and reputed to have been a white-skinned and beautiful people. As Spanish conquistador and chronicler Pedro Sietza de Leon wrote, "They are the whitest and most handsome of all the people I have seen in the Indies." Conquistador and author Pedro Pizarro described these people as white and blonde. The Spanish so completely annihilated these people that an estimated 300,000 Chachapoyas were reduced to a few thousand by 1606, and the entire culture had disappeared shortly afterward. As Nephi wrote, "The wrath of God was upon the seed of my brethren, and they were scattered before the Gentiles and were smitten." Was this 60-foot-high masonry wall made of limestone rock blocks, some weighing as much as 3 tons, in an area covered with cloud forests around one of the cities Captain Moroni reinforced? These walls were so masterly built, Mormon tells us, that it would have been impossible to enter the fortress by any other means than through one of the 3 entrances. All 3 entrances of this fortress were built the same, and so narrow only 2 people shoulder to shoulder could enter. Once inside, it was a very long trek up a narrow corridor of about 100 yards between the tall, narrow rock walls, where a defender on either side could hurl objects down upon invaders, including rocks, stones, and boulders thrown downward. Is Kulop one of the many cities Captain Moroni defended, as well as Alma with its three-tiered fortress, only breached through an entrance, or Chan with its double-walled protection, or Ollantaytambo with its extensive climb upward through several levels of walls? Did Nephi settle within the Andean mountains of Peruvian South America? Is this the land of numerous stone walls built around various cities Mormon described? For more on this and other Book of Mormon geographical issues, see our website at nephicode.com.
Hey, like and subscribe to Grandpa's video right now. You know, the bunch is right here. Woohoo!